Last time we did a video with Tilly in the driveway, I had the blade facing Tilly, and today we're gonna do one where the blade is backwards. Now, I think that flipping it may be helpful, specifically because I can smooth stuff over instead of pull stuff to me. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Oh, that doesn't feel good. Let's see, buddy. You know, I can keep buggering with this, or I can ask Tilly if she wants to be nice and help me, right? There we go. I'll tell you one thing. My dad used to talk about old man strength when I was a kid. And I firmly believe that every ounce of old man strength is earned. Not just by, life experience of being old, but by working hard, man. My dad is definitely the coolest guy I've ever met. He's been a mechanic for as long as I've been alive, and then some. And he's freaking cool. He did save me from being a mechanic, his words, which when I grew up kind of backfired, but all right, Tilly, give it to me. All right, we're gonna talk sweet to Tilly, okay? So we flip that blade around. Let's go be nice to the gravel and just persuade it to be our buddy. Coming up. All right. So here we are, Tilly, doing the driveway again. This time, we're just gonna persuade it. All right? So you see the difference here right now? Just moving it, not really cutting into anything, which is a huge difference than what we were doing the last time we did this. Got our gloves on again. You haven't watched one of my videos. I wear gloves for, safety. Also, if you haven't been here before, welcome to Relaxing Woodford. Subscribe and let me know if you have questions about Tilly. She's usually cutting grass, bush hogging fields, but today she's chilling. All right, so we got this here. Come around. There we go. Not cutting. A little further. Just pushing it over, So on my driveway, I'm pulling away from a midpoint because I really want to kind of see how far I can extend this gravel. I know I'm gonna need more. All this gravel that we have right here was actually free, which is incredible. So we're just making the most out of it. We were displaced for a little bit last year. Had to live in a hotel. And in that, well, our gravel driveway became a grass driveway. It's crazy what happens when you don't bother with nature. It returns to itself. All right, let's drop this down. Probably should have done it this way from the get-go, to be honest. Man, that's so much better, guys. All right, so, wow, that's very surprising. See, when the blade is the other way, you have the cutting edge facing towards you, and you're not asking anything for it to behave, you're kind of telling it to behave. So now I'm asking it, and it's saying, oh, yes, sir, okay, I will move there for you. When I was telling it, it was saying no. the secret for you. I could do this all the time and not even have to. This is really, really relaxing. Okay, so some of the things I've realized is when you have it like backwards, the blade backwards, you can apply as much downward force from the hydraulics as you want to and it'll still just slide, which means it's basically making a bigger wall of rocks in front of it. In comparison, when you have the cutting head on, you drop that thing down there, it's digging into the ground. Try to gather some of this. I made it really wide right there on accident. Recently, we came home and I didn't even know I had a driveway this way anymore. It was just grass. So this is a huge, 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 huge improvement. It's looking pretty good though. There's some wide spots, which I don't know. I know that they have those like rotating brooms, like that go in like a weed eater head. Might need to get one of those. Buddy, almost flipped. think we're almost done. Maybe like 2 more. I don't know how much further I can bring this. I also don't want it too shallow, you know. All right, let's see. So this way, I'm trying to knock down what's high and fill in what's low. And hopefully, if I retain the things that are high, then I can make it go further. This is too wide right here. So we're stretching it. How far can we go? Yeah, buddy. Look at that. Doing good. Don't generally, you know, advocate for driving a tractor this way. Whoa, that praying mantis was huge. But I think we're good for today. I gotta clean up. Cleaning up is well, I think they call it a necessary evil. Could just be an evil. It's like sanding with woodworking. Who really wants to do that? All right, well, we're gonna go park Tilly. Go check out our work. You're gonna laugh from home. And I'm gonna figure out how to clean this stuff up. One of the fun things about having the blade is basically we put it down, that thing becomes an anchor, like for real, for real. All right, we'll turn off our gas. All right, gas is off. Let's go check this out. So, when I get my car out later, I don't know, I'm gonna need to put some gravel between the 2 spots for sure. But this is some pretty big stuff over here. This was the last load that was delivered. And as you can see, I mean, that's some big stone. But I feel like we did okay. I mean, I definitely, as I said, need to clean up the edges. Oh, I need to establish some edges, I guess, and clean it up. Then when it rains, I think some of the dust, you know, will maybe go down beneath the surface. My children are gonna try to take all these big rocks out, which I did not know until they started doing that on the parts of the driveway that were like compacted. That's a really good way to start letting your driveway fall apart. He's taking out all the big stones. But man, I got that there. It's wider, a little bit wider than I would like for it to be, you know, because I had some swipe issues. But I'll get one of those things from a buddy or something and push all this gravel back in. But I can't lie, you know, for I guess what, an hour and a half, 2 hours worth of work and free gravel, I do have a driveway. I am very blessed. I'm very grateful. You know, something that I feel like is very important that we forget all too often is to just be grateful. I could have read some books today. I could have done some writing today. We could have gone thrifting. We could have, you know, done all kinds of different things. But we were blessed with this. And I think I said in the first video of doing this, sometimes you don't have enough money to have people do stuff for you. So you got to figure it out. So that's what we're doing. I hope that you had a great time with Tilly on another episode of Relaxing Woodford. And leave me a comment. Man, I have been so excited to see and hear stories that you guys have of your 8N, Papaw's 8N, you know, a new Sherman transmission you put in there, the way you converted yours, what you're running on the back, how terrible I drive, why mine sounds like crap. I love it. I love it. And never thought that people would watch this. I'm really glad you do. So, from Relaxing Woodford and Tilly, have a good day. See you next time.